Do you find it extremely hard to get over your previous heartbreak? Do you tell yourself, oh no, you are never going to be available emotionally for anyone or any form of relationship because you've been heartbroken? Let's get to know more about today's episode of Insight. Stay tuned as I'll be right back. Thank you for always joining the show. I am your host, Olasumbo Akinola, and today's episode of Insight is how to become emotionally available after an heartbreak. How to become emotionally available after an heartbreak. Heartbreak can come in any form. It can be from your lover, it can be from your sibling, whereby your trust is broken, the bond that has been broken. It can be from a childhood friend, from a colleague you owe a very high esteem, you trust, and you respect so much. So, heartbreak can come from anyone. And that is why I have come to help you to be emotionally available after an heartbreak. And talking about emotional unavailability, what does it mean? When a person is emotionally unavailable, what does it mean? And they may have no problem in forming a new relationship, yet maintaining the relationship becomes a challenge when they are incapable of moving beyond a certain point. The term emotionally unavailable describes a person that builds barriers to avoid an emotional connection to another person or with another person. When we say someone is emotionally unavailable, this is when this person build barriers to avoid an emotional connection with other people. Barriers could be in any form. It could be a barrier just not to trust the person anymore, a barrier not to like create the intimacy you created with probably a friend, your siblings, or your lover. So emotionally unavailability can be temporal or chronic and depends on the causes. It could be temporary or chronic one, and it depends on the causes because different causes makes people emotionally unavailable. So what causes a person to become emotionally unavailable? The first option on what causes someone to be emotionally unavailable is a recent breakup. So, recent breakup, and in the most common case, when people go through a breakup, you've been getting attached to someone initially, and then the relationship goes south. They both break up, the relationship ends, and then you begin to get emotionally detached. You need to detach yourself from this person, but people don't really talk about detachment after breakup. And if you do not undergo this detachment, it might affect your emotional availability with the next person you would be with. So the most common cause of a person with no power attachment issues becoming emotionally unavailable is the failure of a relationship that they place a very high level of value. Also, traumatic childhood events. The way a child was being raised matters. The way child is being raised matters. And children are very, very incredible sensitive to attachment. But when developing, they quickly adapt to their environment according to how they are treated. Children initially, when they are growing up, they adapt to being emotionally available around people, but as they grow up, like I always said, a mind of a child is like a plain sheet of paper. So when they grow up and they begin to experience or study what is around them, they adapt to it. So if their society or their environment literally interprets unavailability of emotions, they pick it up from there. Also, stressful surroundings. And contrary to the popular belief, being emotionally unavailable can also be a result of a stressful surroundings. Everyone handling stress differently, and people handle their stress differently. Some people are emotionally sound enough to face their anxieties and fears head on. So how do you know you are emotionally unavailable? Because people would always tell you, oh, you are this, you are that, and to them you feel they are overreacting. Oh no, They are not overreacting. How do you know you are emotionally unavailable? The first thing is extremely critical. Taking an extreme look at yourself, taking a critical look at yourself, like, okay, let me be sincere with myself. Am I really emotionally unavailable? And then you give yourself a sincere answer. Also, how do you know if you're emotionally unavailable? Is finding humor in traumatic memories. When you tend to find humor in traumatic memories, it is easier to make light of the topic than it is to give an honest answer. And an emotionally unavailable person may have no trouble with communication until the topics becomes too personal or invasive. Also, blaming blame is one way you can know you are emotionally unavailable. Refusing to accept any fault is another common take of being emotionally unavailable. When people tell you you're emotionally unavailable, accept it and look into ways of being emotionally available. So, how do you change your emotional status? If you are unavailable emotionally, how do you make yourself available? The first thing is being emotionally unavailable is not a life sentence. And as previously stated, changing your emotional status is in your control because our emotional state has to do with our brain and our heart. It is the status you place your brain and your heart. So the first step is identifying the root cause of your emotional unavailability, keeping it in mind that it is not necessary to keep everyone just within reach while relearning or learning for the first time on how to be emotionally available takes time. And also, you create stronger bonds. When someone tells you you are unavailable emotionally, then if you want to get available emotionally, you need to create stronger bonds. And a great way to start becoming emotionally available is to create stronger bonds with relatives and people you consider friends. Also, avoid negative relationship. Avoid spending time with people that are persistently negative about the people in their life or counterproductive for what you're trying to avoid. The last way in for you to be emotionally available is stop running away. If you are constantly concentrating on why your relationship have never worked out, take some time out to find the reasons. Recognizing these behaviors that cause the relationship to fail can help you, and once you understand the reason, you'll be able to work on yourself and change this behavior. And these few 3 points I just mentioned, creating stronger bonds, avoiding negative relationship, and stop running away, are different and important ways of being emotionally available. I hope this video has been helpful, and if it has been helpful, please do not forget to give me a thumbs up. Do not forget to share and like for others to enjoy. Until I come your way again next week, I am wishing you a very great week. Bye.